I'm ready for my close-up. Are you ready for some HTML scraping? Previously we looked at nicely formatted JSON data, but what if you just have raw HTML you want to go through and grep through and get what you want? That's what we're looking at today. Let's go ahead and jump right into a website I already designed for you to test this out on. Here we are at the page I've created for you to test this stuff out on. Again, if you go to this link, which should be in the description of the video, it will ask you to log in. The username is Neo, N-E-O, lowercase, and password. Actually, I don't know if it matters if the username is case sensitive, but the password is password, all lowercase. Once you're there, you get to this landing page. Last time we looked at user list 2, which gave you nice JSON output if you knew where to look. Today we're going to look at user list 1. It looks exactly as like user list 2. Like, right, this is user list 2, and this is user list 1. But if we hit F12 to open up Developer Console on a Chromium-based browser, or I forget the key on Firefox. It might be F12 as well. But you open up Developer Console, go to Network, refresh the page so it lists everything on the page. Last time we looked at fetch XHR. We don't have anything this time. So if we look at here, if we look at the HTML, the first thing that loads, we can see, oh yeah, everything's already there statically put. Again, there's pluses and minuses to doing this way. When it comes to scraping, it's not as nice as having nicely formatted information. But what we can also do is hit Control-U, which will open up the source code for the page, and we can start looking through here, and we can see we want to get the user's information. And again, this page is actually formatted a lot nicer than some real web pages. But you can see that we have a person's name here, we have their email address, we have their physical mailing address, and their phone number. And we go through and we can see all those in different places. So what we need to start looking for is patterns. So it would be real nice if like the name had an ID or a class of name. And if the email actually said email and the address doesn't have anything, nor does the phone number here. But we will notice that the email address does have the word job post. We're just looking for patterns that we can grep through. Here, and profile image would be an option if we wanted to get the image. That should be pretty easy to find. But we want this information here. And so we're going to be able to do this, right? So let's look at job posts. The first thing we need to do is let's try to dump that URL. So again, just to save space on our command line, I'm going to put the URL into a variable called URL. So I'm going to do that. Now I can use the wget command. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say wget -q for quiet -o dash means output. The dash means standard output. So it will display it to the screen rather than a file. -- user is Neo, -s password is password, and then we're passing it this URL. When we run that, it will dump all the HTML. As we just said, we are going to look for job_post. So we can say grep job_post, and look at that. It does return everyone's email address. We'll worry about the tags in a moment, but already looking at the HTML, we know that if we can get this line, that their name is just one line above that, the address is just one line below that, and the phone number is 2 lines below it. So what we can do is add to our grep command. We can say @B and the number of lines that we want to also show before our match, in this case 1. So now we're getting their name and we are getting their email address. Adding to that, we can do -A, and as we just said, we want the 2 lines after the match. So we do that, and now we have all the information we want. Again, this is pretty nice the way I've set up this page. Real websites, it might be a little more complicated. It also, again, might have tags on each of the tags. It makes it clearer. It all just depends on how the website is designed. But we still have all the nasty HTML tags there. Let's go ahead and just use sed to remove those. So again, there's a link in the description to all these commands, but this is the sed command here that will, let's get all that on one line, remove any tags. So we run that, and we do get nicely outputted the person's name. So again, this example seems pretty simple. It might even seem more simple than the previous JSON command, but that's just because of how well this page is designed. The information will be in different places. But even though we were able to get this nice long list, it might be a little more difficult. Let's say we wanted to get just the city they live in, or the state, or the zip code. The zip code might not be too hard because it's always going to be past the comma here. But like here, we can say, okay, they live in Massachusetts, but we can go, okay, break this up by line. So it's column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Their state is the 7th column, so we can use awk and 7, but that's not going to be the case because look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one, and it's actually South Carolina. So it's actually the 5th and 6th column. So even though we were able to pull this information nicely like this, if we wanted to grab specific parts of it, it would be a lot more difficult than if we had that nice JSON output where the city was in a field, the state was in a field, the zip code was in a field, the phone number was in fields. It might even have the area code in a different field, all depending on how the JSON's outputted. So even though we were easily able to grep stuff on this page, this basic concept works. You can grep what you're looking for, and then sometimes you might want to grep lines before and after. Then you might want to remove lines before and after. So this is a very basic example. This is a very useful command right here for removing tags. There's other applications that will remove tags. There's web viewers for the shell that will remove tags for you, but sed is pretty much always available, and this is a simple command that you can just save and use on any device. If wget's there, then sed's probably going to be there because they're both built into BusyBox. So even if you're running on a small ARM device like a router or modem, you can run this command. But yeah, that's a basic example of how to search through HTML. Check out links in the description. All the notes are there, as well as links to the website. And again, always visit my website, filmsbychris.com. That's Chris the K. There's a lot of information there if you go to filmsbychris.com. In fact, let's go there right now. Ooh, that's the video I was just working on. We'll go filmsbychris.com. And here's my website. You can search through my videos. You can go to my About section, my software section. I have a section with games I've created, a section where you can support me. I have an RSS feed. I have the Matrix chat if you want to chat with me. And then this is if you're actually you want to access my website from the shell. Here are the commands. But you can also just try going to my website with curl wget. And it will actually give you a shell interface. I do thank you for watching. Again, filmsbychris.com, Chris with a K. I hope that you have a great day.